Hello my fellow Americans. It's me, Ronald Dump. I am so thrilled to be attending the Republican National Convention because I have been working so hard getting real Americans to rally behind my ideals and ideas. And boy howdy, did I ever gather a crowd. First it was a slow process on the campaign trail, to get people to put down their smartphones, stop polishing their guns, and turn off the TV from Fox News, and come out to my rallies. But once I found the magic formula, that got people's attention, they couldn't wait to come to my rallies and take part in all the fun. Their numbers grew and grew. But I knew that these Americans would get bored easily, like children with attention deficit disorder, or like inbred children do. So I had to step up my game, and add more substance, to keep the motivation moving forward and keep the uneducated interested. It wasn't enough to allow them outbursts of white patriotism, with a hints of violence. No, they craved more. So I delivered. I kept their attention with statements like calling Mexican immigrants rapist, and I advocated waterboarding as punishment even if it doesn't help gain information, because they deserve it anyway. And I said, working moms are particularly lacking in loyalty, I believe, and thus do not make for good employees. Quote, she's not giving me 100%. She's giving me 84%, and 16% is going towards taking care of children. Oh, and my favorite part of the movie Pulp Fiction is when Sam has his gun out in the diner, and he tells the guy to tell his girlfriend to shut up. Tell that bitch to be cool. Say, bitch be cool. I love those lines. Or as I elegantly summed up my view to the New York Magazine, in the early 90s, women, you have to treat them like slang for excrement. And I have a few more things I said as well, to entice Americans, so they would stay loyal to me. Like when I proposed to create a database system to track Muslims in the U.S., y'all cheered and cheered. And then there are these recorded statements by me at my rallies, really got the wannabe soldiers and gunhead crowds moist, and standing up and cheering, then running home to stroke their assortment of rifles and handguns. Here are some of my more popular statements. I advocated assassinating terrorists' families. I would force the military to commit war crimes. I urged supporters to beat up protesters at my rallies. I endorsed torture. Refused to rule out using nuclear weapons against ISIS. I said, I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody, and I wouldn't lose voters. I bragged that I kept a collection of Adolf Hitler's collected speeches in a cabinet by my bed. I praised Saddam Hussein for being good at killing terrorists. I proposed to abolish gun-free zones. I believe the world would be 100% better if Saddam Hussein and Gaddafi were still in power. I argued that the massacre at Orlando's Pulse nightclub could have been prevented if patrons had been armed. Oh, and I claimed to have donated $1 million to veterans groups, although they did not receive any money, until reporters began investigating. Whoops, my bad. And that's just a few of them, for the group that craves death and violence towards those who are not like them, you know, similar to ISIS. Now for my favorite group of supporters. Women. All I said women should be punished for having abortions. I blame sexual assault in the military on putting men and women together. I called an attorney who requested a break to pump breast milk. Disgusting. I described Fox debate moderator Megyn Kelly as having blood coming out of her wherever. Oh, and it doesn't really matter what the media write as long as you've got a young and beautiful piece of ass. I said of Carly Fiorina, look at that face. Would anyone vote for that? Can you imagine that? The face of our next president. I do advocate withholding free public education from insufficiently studious kids. I also speculated about my 1-year-old daughter's future breasts. I recalled something I said on my TV show. I told a female contestant on Celebrity Apprentice, "That must be a pretty picture, you dropping to your knees." I said, "If Ivanka were not my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her." I did say that maybe my employees should feel they have to return quickly from maternity leave or risk being replaced. Yes, it's true, I directed a female employee not to take lunch orders when visitors came to Trump Tower, because I found her insufficiently attractive. I publicly shamed a Miss Universe winner for gaining weight. There are so many more fun things I have said to get my people's attention, but this little video is too long already. I hope I have made my point, that up to this point, I have proven, time and time again, that most of my supporters, Merkins, are as racist as hell, ignorant and lazy as hell, and have learned it all from their parents, their grandparents, and the media. May God bless my Christian country, America, from sea to shining sea, because if I am elected, you can kiss this once decent country. Goodbye, see you in November.